It is time to grab your dose of compassion, share your story, and solve your anxiety and depression. Welcome to Keep Calm in a Crazy World with your host, Jodi Amon.
Hey everyone, it's Jodi here. Welcome to Keep Calm Radio. I'm so happy that you're with us tonight with my guests. It's not tonight, it's the morning. Good morning, everybody. It's 9 a.m. We're used to this show going on at night, and this is a special show. We're here at 9 a.m. in the morning, and I'm so happy that you've joined us. And I have amazing guests tonight. It's Poppy and Geoff Spencer. They are relational experts or coaches. They're millennial translators, radio show hosts, and authors of the book, 1 Billion Seconds, which today is free on Kindle, and the link is above, and you could get it. Get it today while it's free on Kindle. It's an awesome book, and it is their story, and we're going to ask them a lot of questions about that book. It is their story of love and loss and reconnection after far too long. It's the sweetest love story. You're going to love it. And we're going to talk to them about fear and relationships. But before we get started, before I introduce you to them a little bit more and they get to talk, I just want to tell you about some things going on for me. The coloring book, it's coming out August 14th. I'm so excited about this coloring book. I did it in collaboration with an artist named Nisha who drew the pictures from her own intuition. It's amazing. And my daughter Lily wrote some poetry to inspire you and encourage you and lift you up. And it's beautiful. Her soul is beautiful, and that comes out in the piece. So I'm so excited to share that with you soon. Just remember, August 14th. And if you want to know what's going on for me, come on over to my website. I have a retreat coming up September 8th through 10th. It's Heal the Healer Retreat in Naples, New York. It's going to be awesome. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce to you my friends. Now, I've known Poppy and Geoff for many months now, and we've supported each other in our work and became friends. And, you know, they know my husband, and so as couples, we're friends, and they're a lot of fun and just full of heart and doing some really great stuff in the world. They in private practice, they work with businesses, they work with people, they're speakers, and they just have a lot to share. So thanks, Poppy and Geoff, for being with me tonight. I'm so glad that you're here tonight. I said tonight again.
Tonight. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
I'm still asleep.
No, it's great to be with you, Jodi, and thank you so much for having us on. This is a real treat for us too, so thank you.
Awesome. Well, I thought it'd be really fun if the two of you introduced each other a little bit, and I'm going to ask a specific question. I'm going to ask each of you what you appreciate the most about the other.
Oh, that's what we always ask our clients.
Oh, me too.
That is so fun. Yes. Okay. So we were college sweethearts, 21 years old at Rollins College in Winter Park, Florida, not too far from where we live. We live on the Gulf Coast of Florida right now. And we have, and we had an amazing year. I was a senior, Geoff was a junior. And right before I graduated, I didn't have the communication skills or the courage or the wherewithal to communicate like, hey, do we get to see each other next year? Well, you have one more year, or what's going on there? So
And Poppy thought that I was going to be the one thinking of all those things. This is one of the huge problems, you know. Men don't think any of these things. At 21 years old, you have the intuitive skills of a Guernsey cow. You know, you don't think of any of these kind of things ahead of time. You're thinking about the next day and the next party you're attending at school.
Well, we don't know that Guernsey cows aren't that intuitive, but just in case.
Well, I was thinking that too. I don't even know what a Guernsey cow is.
It's just it's a kind of cow. Just leave it at that. All right.
So I broke us up. And he was devastated while we were breaking up, and I was stunned that he was upset, and I couldn't figure it out. And I said, wait, you know, let's talk about this. But neither of us did that. So we never had another word or any contact for 32 years.
Which is 1 billion seconds.
1 billion seconds.
Until we got back with each other 7 years ago.
So tell me what you appreciate about Geoff right now, who he is.
Oh my gosh, I appreciate his heart. He has a beautiful heart that has never stopped loving and giving to other people.
Aww.
That's
How
what I
about
love.
you, Jeff? What do you appreciate about a Poppy?
Poppy has an incredible natural loving ability. She one of the things that was remarkable when we did reconnect, Jodi, you know, we had no contact for 32 years, nothing, and I was sure she wanted nothing to do with me. Then we started talking again, I was stunned by it. It was exactly the same person. It was this same warm, caring, giving, loving, thoughtful. In fact, you know, I often have to stop her because she's too giving and too thoughtful. It's, you know, she's always thinking of everybody else and not herself. And she has this incredible knack for always being there for everybody else. And so that's one of her greatest loving skills. And she's always shows appreciation. You know, I always try to do all the things I can to be helpful and good around the house, and she's always thankful and appreciative and says so all the time.
So we say gratitude. We do gratitude journaling every day. We have a little gratitude box, and we have all of our things from the beginning of the year. Every day we share our gratitude.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah. Gratitude does really, it's transformative, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
When you focus on it. And, you know, I think we all, you know how to do it. We know how to have gratitude for something. And I think, though, we forget to bring our attention to it when there's so many other things to give our attention to, right? And so you have to purposely put that time aside, don't you, to do that work. And it is helpful in relationships.
And
Yeah.
it's an important thing to focus on versus, you know, there's so many other things that can happen during the day and during our lives that you can focus on, saying, oh gosh, I shouldn't have talked to the person. Sure, I shouldn't have talked to that person in that kind of fashion. I should have done this. I should have done that. And it's just so important for us to just say, hey, you know, put those silly little things aside and don't make those your intention. And talk and think about the stuff that really does matter,
Yeah.
and what you can be really grateful for. And, you know, Poppy, we've had just a fun couple of days here with launching the book, and we've had just we're so grateful for the reception it's gotten, and it's been
Awesome. Tell us a little bit about 1 Billion Seconds, which is free today on Kindle. Get that link above. Get
Right.
it. 1 Billion Seconds. Love it.
So 1 Billion Seconds is 32 years. As we said, that was the time we were apart. And we wrote this book a couple of years ago. We started it, and it's gone through several editions, and this is the third and final edition. And it really has some really good communication tips in there, relationship things, tells us not to make assumptions. And what we wanted to share with you and your audience was about the anxiety that came with our breakup. I mean, it was really traumatic, and the fears that came before it, like what propelled me to do that in our breakup, and then Jeff, his fears of not staying to, like, let's get some closure here. Neither of us had those skills because fear prevented us from following through on that.
It was a devastating hit in our lives. I mean, for both of us, you know, I think back, you know, Poppy said she never wanted to go back to Rollins. Never. Because it just reflected the ending there at Rollins, because it was graduation essentially that got in the way. Poppy was
getting college, Rollins, and hopefully that's clear. Yeah. So you were graduating. Jeff still had another year. You left. It was like the end of your college experience was this traumatic breakup, which was, you know, really broke your heart. And so you go back.
I lived in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, so I was flying back home. I mean, we didn't have distance to worry about. So it was really, it was a traumatic thing. In fact, Jodi, and you'll appreciate this, I don't remember my graduation. I have repressed it. It was so traumatic at the end of the year that I don't remember being there. I don't remember my parents there. I really don't
remember that really well, because her parents were at a party at my fraternity house one of my friends was holding. And this was right after we broke up, and I'd already had a very wonderful time meeting her parents before that. on one of the Christmas breaks, and seeing them again was like, oh, it was one of those painful things. I had to like suck it up and try to be gracious, and that was just killing me.
So how did you feel about yourselves? Like, you know, how did this reflect, this event reflect, when you're talking about fear, to me, because my experience with people, it reflects how we think, like our own identity, how we see ourselves, and how we see our future, really.
If I had put a scale on how I felt about myself between 0 and 10, 10 being fabulous, I would have given myself about a 0 or a 1. I mean, so really.
What did your self-worth play? Like, how did it play a part?
So my self-worth was, I was brought up very conservatively. Girls never pursued men. They never were assertive toward men. And so when I asked Jeff towards the end of the year, you know, what do you think will happen next year? He didn't say.
My lightning quick mind, you know, just talked about.
I know you said because I read it.
Yeah, I completely missed the mark, is what she was trying to ask.
I was like thinking in my head, of course we've been dating for 9 months here. He'll read my mind. He'll know what I'm asking.
Of course he'll be thinking that, and of course he wasn't.
Right.
So because I didn't get the answer that I had hoped for, I made an assumption based on all of my
unloved.
Yeah, unloved and not worthy.
Unworthy.
He didn't really care that much about me.
Yeah.
You know, laugh about that. He's just not that into you. Oh, okay. I guess he's just not that into me, you know? Yeah. And so I thought, well, the logical conclusion is to break us up. And I really didn't think it would be a catastrophic event. I really didn't. Going in there, I was like, well, we're not going to see each other. And I, you know, it was just like, yeah, we'll see you around. You know, I thought that was the way it was going to be, even though I didn't feel that way. So I had no idea that, and my fears prevented me, societal expectations, propriety, all of those things played into my decision making.
You talk about worthiness too, Jodi. I felt I must not have been worthy of someone of her caliber. You know, if she just threw me aside like that in such a callous fashion. When I say callous, there was a second wound that we haven't talked about here. Poppy got engaged almost immediately after this breakup. Her old high school boyfriend slid back.
4 weeks later, I
got
she was still at school, and they did a candlelight ceremony, and everybody thought it was me that had gotten engaged to her. And so everybody was like, you know, when they heard about it, they started congratulating me. And are you kidding?
I didn't get there yet. I'm still reading. I'm
spoiler alert. So anyway, it was really catastrophic. But we really the book that we wrote is told through the eyes of a fictional entity, almost like an angelic character named Jessie. Jessie is either male or female, and Jessie chronicles our journey and can intuit our thoughts and what we were thinking as we made all of these decisions along the way. And so at the, you know, after the breakup, Jessie is totally and completely devastated that he or she dropped the ball and didn't, save this relationship. And so Jessie is on a mission to seek redemption throughout the career. So
cool. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I'm just at the part. They just broke up, and that's where I'm at. But let's talk about vulnerability in relationships.
Did you cry when you read that part? Did you cry?
Yeah. Well, I know you. I know you, so of course I did. Yeah, of course I did.
I'd say every time we've done any editing or rewriting of that part, we both.
I'm sure.
Get upset all over again. It's like, how did we do this? And it's like, oh my God.
But it's so stupid. It's like stupid.
So anyway, so vulnerability is, and that's one of the moving themes in our book. And we made a quote from Jessie that says, "With complete vulnerability brings absolute empowerment." And so
say more about. Tell me about that quote.
Yeah, it's one of those statements when we first were writing this. it almost sounds like it's counterintuitive. It's like, wow, how could you get so empowered? But when you become completely vulnerable.
People think vulnerability means vulnerability, weakness.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're so afraid of doing that because they trying to get power somewhere in pseudo kind of not so good ways.
It's really putting the ego way on the back burner and speaking from the heart. In fact, we introduced a device, kind of literary device in the book called the empathic bridge, and that's something really cool that we created, and you'll see.
You'll discover that a little further on.
But
tell us really quick, one sentence about the empathic bridge, because we do have to wrap up here. I know we can talk forever. Poppy and Jeff and I get on the phone and we can't get off the phone. We're talking after an hour.
We're doing that now, aren't we?
We are. We can't stop. So tell me about the empathic bridge. That sounds really interesting.
The empathic bridge is really, in a nutshell, just actually speaking from the heart. You're not using any cognition or thought to censor or edit your thoughts. It just comes free flowing.
And it was something that that Jesse was able to then pick up all of our thoughts and feelings because of our connection being so strong and Jesse's connection to us being so strong. It was just a further consciousness thing.
And it's just the absence of fear. It really is. It's the absence of fear.
So when fear is gone and you could really speak from your heart.
Yes.
And that's one of the things that was remarkable when I first reconnected to Poppy, and it was just on a lark. I just happened to think about her and I looked her up and.
Well, we say that Jesse actually nudged him to do it. So.
Well, and that's one of those things that we have talked about a ton between us here about what did cause that.
A guardian angel.
A guardian angel, tapping on the shoulder, the law of attraction, where her Poppy.
We're never alone.
It's so. But it was remarkable when we did reconnect. We were both completely and totally open and vulnerable. There wasn't any, trying to protect ourselves. We weren't being careful. Because the second I heard from Poppy that she never wanted to break up and that wasn't her intention, she was, she said, "I broke your heart, didn't I?" I was like, yes. And both of us were just 100% open and vulnerable from the very first words we uttered to each other.
Right. It was true. So it was really cool to just sort of seal this time capsule and went back to a point pre-breakup where we were in sync. It was great.
Awesome. I can't wait to get there. Of course, I know this story, and everyone go and download this book, link above, 1 billion seconds. And I think it's inspiring understanding what people go through so you don't feel so alone, because we all make these kind of mistakes. We all let fear affect our relationships, and you're not by yourself. Scott James here is asking, what's the subject? The subject is relationships.
It's our journey. It is our journey.
Yeah. It is Poppy and Jeff's journey in their life from when they were 21 and were dating and broke up because of a miscommunication or lack of communication skills, as they say it. And they were apart for 32 years, and then how they got back together and what they learned from that experience. And so it's just a beautiful memoir.
And we try to pass along a lot of learned lessons too, Jodi.
I'm sure you learned a lot.
A lot of things that happened along the way. Many of them were very challenging. I lost my brother, in 9/11, and trying to deal and cope with that, and try to put that hardship and challenge behind you. And we wrote a lot about that too, about ways I learned how to celebrate his life instead of just being devastated by his loss.
So we do a lot of reframing of triumph over tragedy, that kind of thing.
Awesome. Love it. Okay. Awesome.
And this book is, as you said earlier, free on Kindle today. And August 9th is our big launch date that we're offering this book. People go on there and buy it. And we have wonderful bonuses for people. There's a raffle drawing. They can get these cool bracelets. You know what these are, Jodi?
Oh yeah, I love it. I have one, and everyone compliments that. And I meant to wear it today, but I left it on my.
So these are these are cool. The emotional clock, the PDF that goes with it. This is a trademark too.
Where do people go to do that?
So
we don't have time to talk about that, unfortunately. But
Poppy, it's Poppy and Geoff. Use a British spelling of the word Jeff.com.
Yep,
Or,
spelled corrected love. So poppyandjeff.com, right?
Right, or 1 billion seconds, it's ONEVILLION, seconds.com.
Awesome.
They
Awesome.
can go good, but you can go right on that.
Raffle. Get that bracelet. Everybody will compliment this bracelet, and this is Poppy's friend makes these beautiful bracelets. They're incredible. So yeah, so awesome. That's great. So thank you so much, Poppy and Geoff. So happy to have you here, and yeah, anytime. I'd love to have you back again. But thank you everyone for watching this Keep Calm radio show with me, Jodi Amen, and I will see you next Monday at 6 p.m. I usually broadcast 6 p.m. Monday nights, and today I had a personal thing I had to switch it, but we're so happy to see you every Monday at 6 p.m. Thanks, Poppy and Geoff.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.